Alright, we're going to jump into Opta and a little bit about how it works on Sorare. This isn't a topic I look forward to talking about because at the minute around Sorare and Opta and the scoring metrics, there's a lot of controversy, there's a lot of issues, and no one's really happy right now. Bearing in mind cards are won and lost on the scoring system, and if the scoring system isn't right, it presents a problem. Obviously a lot of people watch football, they too can see it like the people that are scoring it, and sometimes it's clear and obvious errors. I'm going to give it in basically its simplistic terms about how it works in Sorare, and I'm going to give you my advice on why you shouldn't get too hung up over it. And I think it's always going to be a problem that's never going to be corrected. But we'll come round to that. Before we do jump into that video though, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are about 3 people away from 100 subscribers, which is pretty epic, bearing in mind it's only been live this channel for a few days, so thank you. And if you do like the video, of course, go on to hit that little thumbs up. And any advice that you have about Opta, or how the game works in terms of the use of Opta, then leave it in the comment section below. Or just say hi. Okay, so we're going to use Sandro Tonali of AC Milan as our example player for today. Before we do jump into jumping around all this Opta stuff and trying to work out where this score has come from, it must be said that different cards have different percentages. The percentages on the card are down to the XP on the card. So for instance, this card here has a 5% plus bonus on top of whatever score he takes. If he was to have more XP, which at the minute he hasn't, he's got any XP, he's got no levels, then obviously that scoring gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Also, if he's captained as well. So let's look at a bigger one. There's a 6 there. Is there any bigger one than 6? There's a 7 here. So this plus 7% will have played some games in training or played some games in the game week, which means he's 6 overall out of 20, and he's got 1,436 XP, which means his modifier is at plus 7. So obviously that will go up the more you play them in training, the more you play them in matches. We're going to cover training in a different video pretty soon. But yeah, so the higher that is, the better it is, because they'll get percentage plus on top of what score they've done. So Tonali's score yesterday against Bologna was an 84. Now, it was a 0-0 draw. He done very, very, very well in his all-round scoring, which you can see here is 49, but his decisive scoring is 35. And this is where we're going to start. So there's 2 types of scoring within Opta, within Sorare. Decisive is actions which impact a game directly. Things that come off the top of my head include goal line clearances, goals scored, assists, penalties saved. What else would there be in there? Assists. Those type of things that affect a game's scoreline quite directly will go on to decisive scores. And then the all-round scoring is all the other stuff that comes into it, like their tackles made, their passes made, maybe their passes misplaced, their interceptions, their headers won, all those things that they tot up over the game. That's how they score on those. And now each player will obviously have different, because they play different positions. So a midfielder to a defender to an attacker to a goalkeeper. All-round score here for Tonali has got attacking, passing, possession, defending, and general. And as you can see on Tomori here, he has general, defending, possession, passing, and attacking. Goalkeeper also have goalkeeping as well. So let's have a bit of a deeper look at Tonali's score here and how he made up this 49.3 overall. So obviously his 35 plus his 49.3 is an 84% score overall. Now I do believe they round that number down, or sorry, they round it up as well, depending on which side of the 0.5 it is. Just going to interject at this point because I didn't say this during the recording of the video, and it's important that I do for context. As you can see here, the point scoring isn't rounded up and down in the actual league table. When it's rounded up and down on the player's page, that's just for a visual thing, so it doesn't say point something, whatever. Actually, in the scoring, those point somethings make a difference. So if this guy has 367.09, but this guy has 367.08, then obviously he'd be above him. If you get what I'm saying. So though you don't on the cards see the point difference, you just see the overall score rounded up or down. When it comes to the actual league and the ranking system and splitting teams based on position, they don't round up and down because teams can have the same result. The little point something is there. It's just not there on the profiles as a visual thing. Hopefully that makes sense. The point somethings count so much and can be the difference between getting something and not getting something, which is why percentages on your cards being higher is really important. So if we go to view all stats, which is just below it here, it's going to give us a bit of a breakdown of all the different things that he's done in the game and how he's been marked on them. So obviously his general, he was fouled 1 time, played 90 minutes, no yellow cards, no red cards, no errors leading to shots. His defending, he had 2 tackles won, 1 triple-double and 1 outfield block. He also had possession lost 8 times, obviously this is a minus because he lost it 8 times. He won 8 duels though, 2 interceptions. You get where I'm going with all this, right? I'm just reading it out to you, you can kind of see it. So he actually had a really, really, really good game. 49 as an all-round score, as an all-round score is pretty damn good. So if we go over to Sorare data, we can see all the history of all the scores that he's had. Now, obviously, he's generally he's a consistent scorer, but not an amazing scorer. He will what we would be considered a good like ETH grinding player. So in the rare main division of All-Star, you can earn Ethereum back if you reach a certain threshold of points, which is like 250. He'd be a very good player to go towards that because he's always getting himself a 50 odd mark, but every now and again he does go a bit higher. But as you can see here, he's all-round scoring 49 is very high, but you can see here he's got 24, 10, 37, 12. So actually his all-round scoring is pretty okay. He doesn't get many decisive actions though, because I guess that's because of the nature of the midfielder that he is. Obviously, if you go on to Opta data, Sorare, what is it called? Sorare data is what I meant to say, not Sorare Opta data thing. We'll get it right in the end. Basically, this is the best place to look at it all. If you just click on it there, and then you can break it down a little bit better. I'll be honest, Sorare do a great job, but Sorare data do a better job. And you can see here quite clearly with the reds and the greens what he's done well and what he hasn't done so well. It also breaks it down a little bit better in terms of the numbers and where he's got them. So his actual possession stuff was 18.8, his attack was 17, and his defense was 7 overall, with his general being 6.5. Good game from Mr. Tonali. So this was Tonali in my under-23s team at the weekend. He actually did get a reward for 515th overall with Visharan, Muleka, Jackson, we'll call him Jackson, Tamori, and the goalkeeper. I can't say his name either. Unfortunately, the goalkeeper let us down massively, but we did have a generally fairly good 23s. As you can see down here, we also had a good champion, but Delafeu decided not to play, which is a pain. You can't. DMPs, they happen. DMP means did not play. It's a shame, but it is what it is. But as you can see, Tonali here scored his 84, a long line, in the same team as all these other guys, and then they got an overall placing. That basically is as simple as that. They will be marked via Opta, which is an independent person who reviews it, and then the game, I believe, is reviewed after. So it is down to opinion, and they do sometimes think differently to what we do, and they do probably sometimes get it wrong. But that's going to lead us into the next part of this video, which isn't so great. Hopefully there's nothing on here which is too edgy, but I've just typed in Sorare and Opta and just searched on Twitter, and you see by the top of the latest tweets that there's a lot of conversation about Opta and just not being correct. Winning prizes in the game is ultimately what everyone is trying to do. No one's playing the game. Well, they are playing it for fun, but no one's playing it to not win a reward. And the scoring can be the difference between missing out on something really big financially or something even financially small which matters to you. And there's nothing we really can do. We're kind of powerless to it. As you can see here, the tweet from Sorare saying about a particular game where we're having problems with in the game week, and the game week is closed with it being a problem basically, and as people are rightly so coming up with, they're not happy. We are at the mercy of those people. Unfortunately, we put our money into it and we expect the product to be right. It's not always going to be right, and to be honest, more recently than ever before, on my experience of Sorare in 2 years, it's being wrong again and again and again. Whether it's Sorare, whether it's Opta, or whether it's somebody else, I don't actually know. And this video isn't really to discuss that. This video was to kind of give you an idea of what Opta is, how they score, and to be honest, it's really simple. What's not simple is understanding why these issues are happening. So this is my take on it all. It's easy for me to say because I haven't totally been affected by it yet, but ultimately you're going to be swings and roundabouts. You're going to be affected one week and you're going to get lucky with it, and the other week you're going to get unlucky with it. Before you invest anything in Sorare, or decide if you want to stay on the game at all, then you're just going to have to accept it is what it is. Is that good enough? No, definitely not. But for your own mental health, it's probably just easier to either step away from the game if it really is riling you up, or just before you even start, accept that you are at the mercy of other people. That's kind of what I've done, is that if it happens and I get it, lucky, fantastic. If I don't, it is what it is. That's not acceptable though. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. But that's the acceptance that I've come to. This tweet that I replied to on a discussion on Twitter regarding Opta is probably, again, the best way that I can look at it is like, just hope you get the rub of the green. Just hope you get the rub of the green. And like I say, no, that isn't good enough, but it is what it is currently. If you are that concerned, then I would consider probably selling on your gallery and taking your money back. And you know what? You're probably right in doing so. I do genuinely hope for the future, though, this is corrected by Sorare, because it is spoiling a lot of people's experience with the game and trust in the game as well. When things are quite clearly there, when there's goals been scored and it's not been given via Opta or somebody, and you've watched the game and physically seen it, that is hella frustrating. But anyway, guys, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea about Opta and how the scoring works in Sorare. It's taken from those stats. You have decisive and you have all round. I'm going to leave a link to this article down in the description for you. It is a release from Sorare Official in 2021 and how the Opta scoring changed to decisive and all round, and obviously then the accumulation of the two gives you their overall score. So if you are interested about going into it even more deeply than what I've just done a surface look at it really, then you can definitely go onto this and it gives you a really good idea on how they can score the hundreds and the 100 pluses, obviously with the modifiers and stuff too. So yeah, great article, and it covers absolutely everything. It's in the description, linked down there. But when I was looking on YouTube for people who were explaining Opta on the surface level, just so someone can get a really fine, easy understanding of it, I didn't see that anywhere, so hopefully this video has served that purpose today. But for one more time, I surface look at it, I look at the overall score, I don't delve into it too deeply. I know that sometimes I'm going to get shafted, but hopefully I'll get away with it as well. That's been it for today, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you in the next one.